Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Fight Sport Manila Verbal Sparring!
Hey guys, what is up? This is Pal Gonzalez, and welcome to the second episode of Fight Sport Manila Verbal Sparring. Again, for those who watched the first episode, thank you so much. It was a success. Let's make this as fun, as amazing as always in every future episodes. Now, we have a great guest for you guys, especially for all the MMA enthusiasts, because we have none other than URCC Featherweight champion and the SEA Games gold medalist for Sambo, Mark Striegl. But before we talk about this soon-to-be legend, because he has of the makings of a legend already, let's talk about the current one, and that is the voice who introduced our podcast. It's none other than Lenny Hart. She is best known as the voice behind all the biggest MMA organizations in Asia, like Pride, One, Dream, and she's currently in Risen right now. Rising. So if you yourself would want to have Lenny Hart as the intro of your podcast, give you a special greeting, be your alarm clock, wake you up, all you have to do is visit lennyhart.com for more information. And again, as always, let me introduce to you the tech guy from last show, Charlie Gonzalez.
Hey, what's up, guys? What's up, Paolo?
All right.
It's a pleasure to be here again. Last episode was crazy. So thank you so much for joining us on our first podcast. So last podcast was so crazy that we could barely handle the comments. So I'll be relegated to a more of a producer role right now. So I'll be moderating the comments together with our friends from Fight Sport Manila, Mark Tagyam and Ken Sarmiento. And if you guys have any questions whatsoever, just hit us up in the comments and I'll make sure to flash it. Now, who's excited for Mark Striegl, huh?
True that, Chala. True. For all of you.
I think Paolo just dipped out a bit. Anyway, so just hang in there, guys, and we're excited to have Mark Striegl on the show.
All you have to do is comment. Charles gonna see it, and he's gonna.
I think there's a bit of a delay
right down below there. Also, it's gonna be his birthday in 2 days, so please greet Charlo Gonzalez a happy birthday because he deserves it. There will be no Fight Sport Manila without him. Now, before we introduce our guest, let's go to some giveaways, okay? So we are giving, this is an IG exclusive giveaway. So this is a one championship keychain. So it's really cool. All you have to do is make sure you're following us on Instagram and screenshot any part of the show. And once you screenshot the show, tag us, tag Mark Mugen. Make sure you're following him too. And then we're going to randomly pick a winner. Now, let's check first some of those comments while I'm pulling out the other in-podcast prizes. So this one's the second. So, Pao Salud, let's go. What's up, brother? Now, this is a one championship lanyard, and we are giving away this URCC collage, picture collage of URCC 30, if I am not mistaken. This is where Mark had his URCC debut, so it's a must-have. And it's the same format as the last time. All you have to do is answer the question at the end of the show. Now, let's cut to the chase already. He is the URCC 145 champion. He is a SEA Games gold medalist in Sambo. And currently he has his YouTube channel where he does his workout videos. Because, come on, if you see his body, everybody wants to know how to achieve that kind of body. So he already made those workouts for you. Anyways, here we are, Mark Striegl, guys.
Yo,
Hey, how
what's
you
up,
doing,
guys?
Mark? How
Good,
you
good to
doing,
be
bud?
here, man. Thanks for having me, man.
No, thank you for accommodating us on the show, man. It's
Oh, my
amazing to
pleasure.
have you. Now, how are you doing right now, man? I know you're stuck in Baguio, right?
Yeah, no, I got stuck in Baguio. I meant to come up here just for a few days to see my family, see my wife and kid. And then right when I got up here, the quarantine basically started. So I got stuck up here with no clothes to work out and everything. So I'm doing laundry pretty much every day. But no, of course it's great. I'm here with my family, so that's the most important thing. There's nowhere else. I would probably, even if I was in Manila, I would have came up to Baguio. I just wish I had more clothes, of course. But yeah, I'm in Baguio right now, training hard.
Hey, man, I think you're doing a service to all your female fans because it means that there will be more Instagram pictures of you shirtless.
Yeah,
Anyways,
man,
man,
try to stay motivated and work out every day, man. It's a trip, man. Just doing home workouts and stuff, and working solo. But yeah, making it work just like everybody else.
yeah, man. Speaking of workout, you just recently released a series of videos on your YouTube channel. That's Mark Mugen, where you are doing some training workouts, right?
Yeah. Shout out on my YouTube channel. Thank you, bro. Yeah, if you guys could please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Mark Mugen. I've had it for a while, but only recently I started putting out fitness and workout content. So if you guys want to see what kind of exercises I do, what kind of ab workouts I do, please subscribe, follow, and yeah, you can see everything there.
One exercise I tried in your video is the bring Sally up challenge, and the day after, man, my arms are like spaghetti because I don't know how you do it, bro. That's so hard.
Dude, that's a crazy one, man. I remember that's like an old one, but I thought I'd put it up there. It's been around for a while, that challenge. I did that I think back in college, but
Mhm.
I thought I'd put it up there for people that haven't seen it. And yeah, usually I use that as like a finisher at the end of my workout just to like get a little extra muscle fatigue and just a little more endurance and burn. But no, it's definitely challenging enough that you could do it all by itself on its own, and
Y-
no, it's a great
Yeah,
one.
man. You use that as a finisher. I use that like in the beginning, and after I can't even do anything else. So it's
Yeah, I'm
crazy.
still sore from that too. When I do that, I still get sore too. So no worries, bro.
Well, that's the cool thing about it now. Aside from the Bring Sally Up challenge, you also have other workouts there. Could you share to us like the workouts you could advise to the newbies or something in your channel?
No, for sure. Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I've always been a proponent of and been outspoken about is just having quality workouts. I mean, 20 push-ups, 20 good push-ups all the way down, all the way up versus 100 half ones where you're just like barely bending your elbows. There's a huge difference in quality and muscle growth. So a lot of my workouts that I put on YouTube are very short. It's 5-minute abs, 10-minute full body. But if you do the exercises correctly and you're really focusing on the muscles and trying to make that mind muscle connection and really isolating the area, then that's going to be enough. So people need to be aware of that when they work out. Form and quality is always most important, and then after that, after you've mastered the movement, then you could start getting the reps really really high and doing crazier stuff.
Yeah, man. Like you said, those workouts are like 5 minutes, but you feel like eternity doing it. But it feels so good after. It's like those
Oh yeah.
those kind of workouts where you feel fulfilled that you did something good for the day.
No, definitely. I mean, I'm addicted to working out, man, and just the endorphin rush. I mean, if I don't work out for a few days, I feel gross. I feel sickly, and I get emotional even, man. Like I don't feel good at all. So definitely, that's one of the benefits that comes with working out. You feel good. You get that endorphin rush. You just feel better afterwards, and you feel, of course, accomplished and satisfied that you actually put in the time and did it.
Now, Mark, a lot of people are saying hi to you, like Christian Reyes, and I've seen Hobie a while ago, and we have
What's up,
John
man?
Messias saying us. But one thing I've seen in particular is Neil. I think this is a buddy of yours, right?
Yeah, man. Yo, shout out to one of my main training partners, Neil Arano, man, from round one in Manila. Neil's a good friend and great training partner of mine, and we always push each other. So definitely being stuck up here in Baguio kind of sucks because haven't been able to train with my go-to guys. But yeah, Neil and I have been keeping in touch every day. Actually, we chat on Viber and just share our workouts and stuff, and make sure that we're holding each other accountable and keeping each other in check. So, what's up,
Man,
Neil?
I have a good story about Neil. So I trained in sprawl for a BJJ class under Coach Jerry. I think you've worked under Coach Jerry too. And during the end of our session, there was this wrestling takedown challenge. So it was 15 versus 15. But I think from Neil alone, he took down almost 70% of the trainees. And he took me down in less than a second. It's the first time I felt like I was in a roller coaster.
Yeah, man. No, Neil's a beast, man. And when Neil, EJ, and I get together, EJ is another wrestler and another training partner of mine. When the three of us get together just for pure wrestling training, man, it's wild, man. It's a grind, man. But that's what you got to do, man. So.
Yeah, definitely, man. I feel if I am watching you guys train, I feel I'll get tired and scared for my life because, man, I haven't seen or felt power like that until it happened to me. But he's very nice. Like after that, he was very careful because he knew it was like my second class, and he was teaching me some tips and techniques. He's a cool guy, and he's a beast indeed.
No, exactly, man. Neil's a great person, man, and that's important, man. You don't want any ego when you're training at the gym. You know, just you got to surround yourself with a group of guys that are just trying to get better and just work hard, you know.
Now, we got to talk about this, man. This is from Lester Escocura, man. Is that like El Cucuy? Yeah. Did you know Mugen is a Sambo SEA Games gold medalist? Henry Cejudo would be proud, man. He will be. Man, you're double C, right? Like you're double C right now.
I'm double C right now. Yeah.
So you need just one more, and you'll be a triple C. But talk us through that Sambo experience, man.
Yeah, Sambo was okay for those people who aren't familiar with Sambo and think it's samba or getting confused with some other kind of dance. Sambo is the Russian national sport, and it's a hybrid form of martial arts. So there's two kinds of Sambo. There's sport Sambo, which is a combination of all the kinds of grappling. So you're combining judo with Brazilian jiu-jitsu and wrestling. That's sport Sambo. And then there's combat Sambo, which is all of those, all the grappling arts plus striking. So very similar to MMA. The only difference from MMA is that there's a point system, and we're also wearing the gi. We're wearing the uniform, like the judo gi or the BJJ gi.
Yeah.
So that changes everything very drastically, because it becomes more of a judo type game where you're trying to throw the guy and you have to break grips and be aware of position. So, yeah, I got recruited to be part of the Sambo team and to represent the country in the SEA Games, which was a great honor. And yeah, thank God I was able to get the gold. And yeah, man, we trained so hard for that because I don't have a judo background. I have a wrestling background. And in wrestling, we don't wear the uniform. We don't wear the gi. So I really had to immerse myself in the world of judo and grip fighting and wearing that heavy gi, man, that weighs a ton after you start sweating too. And yeah, thank God we got the victory. We got the win for that.
All right. So before we go to the next question by Ivan, I just want to acknowledge the presence of Lenny Hart, who is watching the second episode of our podcast. Thank you so much for being a regular. Yeah, she called your name a few times, man.
Yes, back in one championship. Yeah, Lenny, I think we have some mutual friends in Japan from when I used to go to school in Tokyo. The brain fart, I'm forgetting right now. They're my training partners. But yeah, I used to give their family tickets to the Pride events and hook them up. So we have some mutual friends back from my international school days in Tokyo. Yeah.
Man,
what's up, Lenny? Thanks for tuning in.
She's such a sweetheart. Now, before we go to the question, I just want to give another shout out to Bibo Reyes and Cholo Amiana. Now, the question is, I've read it a while ago. If you could bring it back, Cholo. He's asking you to compare the experience of fighting in the Sea Game. There we go. Ivan Stewart is asking, compare the experience playing in the Sea Games compared to the likes of an MMA fight, like the URCC, PXC one.
No, for sure. Yeah, well, every time I've fought in, URCC, PXC, or one, I've always represented the country, especially when I'm fighting international competition or I'm fighting overseas. But it's different when you're officially part of the Philippine national team and you get that uniform with the Philippine flag and you have all of your teammates and you're all out on a mission. And of course, to represent the country at the last SEA Games and being hosting here in the Philippines in Manila, that was something different and something very, very special, and kind of brought me back to my wrestling days back in Tokyo, Japan, being part of a team and being on a mission to do something. But yeah, it's incredibly special and like no other feeling. To be part of the national team and to be competing and representing in the Philippines. It was awesome.
Yeah, man, you gave pride to the country. Is Sambo recognized in the Olympics?
Currently, it is not currently, but maybe the next one is 2021. They postponed for 1 year. So probably the following games after that, it will be included. They're in the final stage of talks, however that works.
I hope they do it, man, because I think we have a good chance at gold if it did, and we're part of it. Also,
Yeah,
the whole Sambo team, man, they're really good.
No, definitely. We have some beasts on our team, man. Patrick Dos Santos, I mean, we called him the one punch man because he had the fastest knockout of the SEA Games. Literally his match against, I think it was Thailand, he grabbed the guy by the gi. So, I mean, it's kind of funny. It's almost like a street fight. He grabbed the guy by the collar, by the gi, and with his other hand just pop, 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 3 punches, guy was out. And I think it was like 6 or 7 seconds into the match, just ran across, grabbed the guy by the collar, pop, 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 out. TKO finish, knockout finish. One Punch Man, shout out to Dos Santos, man. Badass.
That is like a Filipino action movie. Now, speaking of movies, you've done one in the Metro Manila Film Fest. Is the Revengers Squad Ganda Rapido. It stars Vice Ganda and Daniel Padilla. I think it's the #1 movie that time. How does can you share with us the experience working that movie?
Yeah. That was an awesome experience. Shout out to Erwin Tagle for hooking that up, man. And got to go on set, and it was a 2-day straight shoot. Alongside Daniel Padilla, Vice Ganda. So I had a crazy fight sequence with Daniel Padilla, and yeah, guy's a true pro, man. He was super fluid in the movements, no problem. Let me lift him up and throw him down. He was a really cool guy. And the other one that was really crazy, shout out to Vincent Sobrano. Vincent Sobrano was the action director for the movie, and one of my final death scene, I get front kicked by Vice Ganda, and I fly across the stage and I land into a pillar, and that pillar explodes. There's explosives wired to the pillar. So there's a guy in the back and he's waiting for me. And once he sees me on the monitor fly across and hit the pillar, he presses go and the explosives go off. So that was a crazy experience. I mean, I remember when they pitched the idea to me, they were like, all right, Mark, we're going to tie you up with these strings and these ropes, and everyone's going to pull at the same time. So it's straight up like a Hong Kong action movie. Everyone's going to pull and you're going to fly across. You're going to hit that pillar. The pillar's going to explode and you're going to fall down to the ground and just lie there still until you hear cut. And that's your death scene. So, yeah, no, we got on the first take, and we had to get on the first take because if we didn't get on the first take, the pillar would have had to be rebuilt and everything. So thankfully we got it on the first take, and it was an awesome experience, man, just doing that movie.
Were you scared doing that stunt?
Oh, for sure, man. Not going to lie, dude. When they told me that they're going to pull me across, I'm going to fly and hit the pillar, and the guy's going to hit the explosive device, I was like, what? Are you serious? And the reason being was that they said you have to hit the candle mark, because on the opposite side of the candle is the explosive. So make sure you hit the candle. And I was like, dude, how am I supposed to hit the candle? I can't even see because I'm flying backwards like this. So like I can't look to where the candle is. So they're like, just make sure you hit the candle. So we did it twice, 2 test runs without hitting the candle, just so we could kind of get the mark. And then on the third one, we hit the candle, which was the spot. And then, of course, it exploded and it went well. And my pants actually kind of lit on fire from the explosion, which was funny. And I could feel my leg really, really hot. And I fell to the ground and I'm lying there trying to pretend that I'm dead. And I could feel like, oh my gosh, is my leg on fire? What's going on? But I have to wait for them to say cut. So I waited for cut like a true pro, waited for cut. And then as soon as they said cut, I stood up and I was like, oh my God, my leg. So crazy
Man,
experience.
You are. That's a pro move, man. And it's like your first foray into acting, if I'm not mistaken. We have a question here from Smith C. Out of your 21 fights, which one is your favorite?
Favorite? Yeah, every fight's special, man. I mean, it's like a journey, your journey through life, and every fight has its obstacles and whatnot. But one that definitely stands out is my win, my URCC global title win against Do Gyum Lee, just because it was crazy, man. 1 year of trash talk back and forth, and I beat his teammate, and he was just such a dick after I beat his teammate. He was like, he went in into the cage after I beat his teammate, and he was like, you just beat my training partner. What do you think I'm gonna do to you? So he was just such a dick to his teammate, and he was just trash talking for a whole year. And then finally I got the chance to shut him up. So that was definitely I don't know if it's my favorite, but it was very satisfying.
Yeah, that match is really one for the books. And Cholo, man, if you could pull up the fight here, so Striegl could give us what's going on in his mind during these sequence of events.
So yeah, that was actually my first fight working with Coach George Castro.
Oh, that was
so that was awesome too, man. And Coach Castro, I don't have enough. Can't say enough good things about him. We worked so, put in like a 3-month training camp, and yeah, the results showed. And I remember thinking like, okay, I'm in his head. He can't even look at me in the eyes, and he entered.
True, man. Yeah. I'd say that already. He can look in the eye, and he was the one doing the trash talk. It's like, I wish I didn't.
Exactly, he was mad dogging me at the press conference and looking deep into my eyes and all the other events and everything. And then when the time came, fight or flight, he couldn't even look at me in the eyes. And he entered to Bruno Mars too, which I thought was so funny. And I remember thinking like, okay, this guy thinks it's like, this is like a show. This is like a circus, or like, this is like I don't know, like this guy doesn't think it's a fight. Like, I'm here to put this guy away, especially after he talked so much crap for 1 whole year. And he's entering to Bruno Mars dancing and stuff, So that plus him not being able to look at me in the eyes, I was like, okay, let's go.
You know how like some fighters talk trash to get their opponent out of their game? I think it worked opposite when he did it to you, man. I mean,
I
look
think
at that.
Yeah, I got an inside trip takedown there from double overhook position. And then I remember here, I just passed the guard immediately, and he's pushing me away. He's doing a good job pushing me away. I'm just trying to isolate him because he's quite explosive and strong, actually. I mean, he's a very fast twitch athlete. He may be the first guy I fought that's as fast or faster than me. So I was aware of his speed, and I was just trying to hold the position here and secure it and make sure that he didn't explode out early in the fight, especially when we're not sweating, or especially when he's got energy and he's still fresh, So really right here, I'm just trying to secure the position with my shoulder, trying not to give him any space, and eventually look to advanced positions.
Yeah, for sure, man. Like, yeah, what I was saying is that Do Gyum Lee is no pushover. He's a badass, but look at how you control him, man.
Yeah, I know. We worked hard, man. We worked hard for this, and it was a good position. So here I transferred to the Filipino-American scarf hold arm lock position, And this was actually my mistake. When I went back and I rewatched this fight, I was like, I could have finished him there, but I overcommitted on the arm lock, and I got my body parallel, in line with his. I should really be perpendicular. And because I wasn't perpendicular in a clean side mount position, he was able to escape out, but I held on to his neck, and I tried once to pull the guillotine and finish, which he scrambled out of, and then after that, I just pushed him up to the cage. And
look at that! He was out. That's like the John Jones finish to Machida, man.
Yeah, John Jones, very similar, up against the cage, man. So that was, I mean, of course, I don't, I don't wish any ill will on my opponents, but
for sure,
man, this guy talks so much crap, dude, about my team, about me. He was a dick in Cebu in front of my wife. Right after I beat his teammate, he was like, this guy is just a bad person, man. Just a bad human being, So putting him away like that definitely was satisfying. And it was the icing on the cake.
Another thing about that is that I know you could handle Do Gyum Lee, but another thing I'm afraid of is how Coach Castro would be to the opposing coach. Because if you see Coach Castro mad, I don't care who you are if you're on the opposite side, man.
No, for sure. It feels good, definitely standing in the cage with Coach Castro. Huge guy, like 250 pounds, 6'3", I think. So definitely, I feel like I'm in good company and ready to go every time.
Definitely. Now we have another question. This is from Lyra Alvarez. She's curious. What is the new normal for MMA fighters? I think she is going through like, how would you guys train in the future? Because there's this social distancing, and of course your opponents should be tested in the future. Because we still aren't fully educated with what's happening with this situation.
No, for sure. I believe the only promotion in the world that is doing shows right now is the UFC, and they're very thorough with all of their testing. They're running a very small ship with I think less than 50 or 100 people, and everyone is tested daily. And of course, it's a closed venue, so there's no one in the audience. So I mean, as far as promotions go, I think it's only UFC that's attempting to do shows right now. So we'll have to see how that goes. But as far as training goes, fighters are basically training on their own with their coaches, with their main coach, and doing what they can at home. And if they do get the opportunity to get together with one training partner or maybe a second training partner that lives kind of nearby, just for a quick training session. I think some guys are doing that, especially in the States as they're preparing for their UFC fights. Me here in Baguio, I haven't been able to train with any training partners because all my training partners are in Manila. So my wife has stepped in and assumed that role as my head.
I see she's doing the mitts, man. She's pretty good.
She's doing the mitts. So shout out to my wife, Star. She's been helping me out, and man, everyone's just trying to make it work, especially a sport like a contact sport, wrestling, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, MMA. We have to be very careful because, that's, of course, close contact. That's the worst way to transmit the only way to transmit it, coronavirus. So everyone has to be careful. I think right now it's just a waiting game. We have to see how this plays out on the global scale. And we'll see.
Well, that is true indeed. Now, your coach, Coach Castro, joined us, and he said, stay ready.
Yes, exactly. Oh, I love that shot.
Is there something that we should know, man? Is there something you could share us?
Well, actually, that shot is both of us looking at Do Gyum Lee as he's unconscious on the ground. So that's actually
what I'm saying, man.
Yeah, man. That's an epic shot because we trained so hard for that fight, and we were just waiting for our opportunity to shut him up. So that was a pretty epic shot, man. Special moment right there with Coach.
Yeah, it's my brother who took that shot, if I'm not mistaken. And that's what I'm saying, man. Coach Castro is more scarier than you. He's ready to go another round.
Coach Castro is, ready to rock, man. Intense shot. I'm definitely in good company. Man. staying ready. As Coach said, we're keeping in touch. Me and Coach Castro. I let him know how my training is going. Tag him in all of my training posts every single day, and we're staying ready for when hopefully this all blows over and we get the call and we get a fight.
Yeah, true. Now we have a question here from Dane Torres. If given a chance to fight in the UFC, who would you want to fight first?
Francis Ngannou. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
No, I'm just joking. Definitely not. No, man. Anyone. I mean, I think in a promotion like the UFC, you can't pick fights, and at this level, you can't. You fight the best guys in the world. So, I would love to test myself with the top dogs in the UFC. Probably a bantamweight, because I'm a bit small for featherweight, especially on the international circuit. You got massive guys like Max Holloway, at like 5'10", walking around at 185, 195 pounds. So I'd probably go to bantamweight for that. But just like to test myself.
And another thing is that, the bantamweight champion just retired, so the title is up for grabs.
I don't know if he really retired. I think he's just trying to renegotiate a better contract and a higher payday. But yeah, let's see. Definitely some interesting things happening at bantamweight in the UFC right now.
All right, we have another one from Smith C. Are you open to another one championship run if possible?
Yeah, no, definitely. Never say never, and one championship is a stellar promotion, and my teammate Brandon Vera, shout out to Brandon, is the one heavyweight world champion. So definitely open to another run with one.
And since you're in Baguio, are you open to training with the Lakais? Asked by Hobie Kiambao. Team Lakai.
Yeah, definitely open to training with Team Lakai. They're a little farther away from where I live in Baguio. They're closer to they're in La Trindad, but definitely open to training with Team Lakai. Got a lot of respect for them. They're beasts, and I think we could definitely help out each other a lot.
And here's another question from George Castro. Ask Mark about Ruby Sports. Go on,
Ruby
man. What's
Sports. Yeah, Ruby Sports is a US management company that we have signed with, and they help a lot of fighters get into the UFC. They're working with a lot of fighters that are currently in the UFC. So shout out to Ruby Sports. Please give me a fight soon, guys. Looking forward to getting back out there and staying active.
Ruby Sports, like, come on, let's do it as early as possible.
Let's go, guys.
Definitely. And come on, like, to everyone asking where Mark wants to fight, Mark will fight anywhere. I mean, if you just give him a contract, a date, and a cage, and of course make it safe due to the coronavirus, I think he won't say no.
Yeah, I mean, no, definitely. Looking forward to fighting. I mean, man, Ryzen is cool too. It's funny. I was born and raised in Tokyo, Japan, but I never had a pro fight in Japan. So that's something that's interesting too. Just want to fight, man. Wanna stay active.
Now here's a question from Ivan. He got DC'd, but which has a bigger bearing, winning an MMA title or the SEA Games gold?
I don't know if you could say which has a bigger bearing. They're both very, very different, separate sports. But they're both very special in their own way. And of course, I wasn't able to get capture PXC gold, but I was able to capture SEA Games gold, which was great. And both are definitely big accomplishments.
And right now in the URCC, I mean, since it is the URCC, the 155 title is open, if I'm not mistaken. So let's get that Triple C happening.
True. I'd be a small 155, but no, I could do it, man. I could do it for sure. I mean, I'd probably be closer to going down to 135. Although Drex is a great, is a good friend of mine. So I don't know if I do that, but yeah, 55. Why not?
Exactly. I mean, Drex is a great champion and a great representation of that 135 division.
Definitely.
And when we interviewed him, you are one of his dream opponents. He said it's going to be like a Super Saiyan match in a Dragon Ball cartoon because you guys are both like Super Saiyan bodies, man.
Yeah, no, Drex is he's a big 135er, man. He's got some height on me, and he's really filled out over the last 2 years, man. So no, that would be a crazy fight for sure.
That would definitely be a crazy fight. And I mean, I'm going to be excited to watch it, but I can't pick sides when that happens, man. Because you guys are both cool. But it's going to be amazing. It's like one of the dream fights to do if, this gets lifted up. But
Sure.
I really want that 155 Triple C more because it's vacant.
Is it really vacant right now?
I feel so. Or if there is one, I think it's in the UFC Global, like in the American.
It's probably a US title holder or something.
Yeah, something
Okay.
like that. Now,
Let's
yeah.
go.
All right, let's look for more questions. So there we go. How did Mark get his nickname, Mugen? How did you get Mugen?
So, yeah, funny story with my nickname. My third professional fight was actually my first fight in the URCC. This was a while back. I fought Crisanto Pipitungi from Team Lakay in Baguio, and the event was named The Invasion, even though I'm half Filipino. That's how it was marketed. I was the main event against Crisanto. And before I flew over to the Philippines, I was in Tokyo at the time. Before I flew over to the Philippines for the fight, URCC told me that I needed a nickname, and that if I didn't give them a nickname, they would make one for me. And at the time, I was 2-0 as a pro, and I had no nickname. And just the thought of somebody making a nickname for me, it didn't sit well. And of course, I didn't want to get stuck with something that sounded silly or stupid, like, I mean, not bashing them, but they don't know me. And I don't know, what if they chose something generic, like, I don't know, the Destroyer or the Untouchable or something, so.
True, man.
Yeah, and then I'd be stuck with that, So I had this dilemma in Tokyo, and I remember I was like, crap, I don't want to get stuck with something, but now I'm kind of forced to make up a nickname for myself. Like, this is a weird situation. So at the time, I was with my older brother, and we were watching Samurai Champloo. I'm a big anime dork, and Samurai Champloo is one of my favorite shows. And at the time, we were binge watching Samurai Champloo, and one of the main characters in Samurai Champloo is Mugen. And we always liked the character Mugen. We thought he was such a badass, cool character. And then, of course, Mugen in Japanese, we translated it. Well, we know because we lived in Japan, and Mugen means limitless. It means dream or limitless in Japanese. So
that's a cool one.
Yeah. So we're like, oh, the translation is cool, and Mugen's kind of mysterious. Why don't we go with Mugen? And then after that, it just stuck after that.
So that's the only choice you had, is just Mugen, or were there anything in the short list of yours?
No, it was pretty fast, man. It was just like that. We were watching Samurai Champloo, and we were just like, oh, Mugen. Like, oh, you like Mugen, bro? Yeah, Mugen looks cool. Okay, let's do Mugen. So it was really just like that, like small talk like that. And then I just emailed the URCC, and I was like, yo, you can put Mugen. Thanks, guys. So yeah, that's how it happened.
Wow, it's hard to get it right in the first try, but you did. And thank you for the question, Bibo Reyes. You are the first guest during the last podcast. And I think most of the girls are saying it's a cool name and they love it.
Thanks,
and
guys.
they're happy it's not the Destroyer. That's number one.
Mark the Destroyer. Destroyer. Exactly. Wouldn't have been so cool. Pretty generic,
All right. So, I think Lester was asking, but I did ask you this already. Are you willing to represent the Philippines in the Asian Games for Sambo? And if it happens in the Olympics? We answered the Olympics part, but how about the Asian Games?
No, absolutely. Yeah, my plans are being a dual sport athlete for combat sambo and for MMA, and just doing my best to represent the country in both sports. And yeah, I'd love to get a chance to compete in the Asian Games. That would be awesome.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel that, it's really a shoe-in because correct me if I'm wrong, like before you went to the Sea Games, you had some tune-up fights, and
Mm,
I've read that you were having difficulties with the grips. Then suddenly, man, you won
yeah.
the gold.
Yeah, no, it's funny, man. It's a little backstory on that. My first sambo competition, looking Mina Dai Nishiyama. That's a friend of mine from high school in Tokyo, Japan. What's up, bro? Thanks, Dai. Um, so yeah, man. Before the Sea Games, we had a competition in Korea. It was called the Asian Masterships, and it was a big event. A lot of countries joined, and this was my first foray into combat sambo. And in my mind, I was thinking like, oh, how different can this be? It's just a fight, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna try to knock the guy out or submit him, and use my wrestling and not get thrown. And yeah, I was in for a rude awakening. This was 2 months before the Sea Games. I lost both matches and got eliminated. I didn't even place, man, in Korea. So it was a big wake up call. I got tossed, man. I didn't get finished with a submission or a knockout. I got tossed by two judokas, and I got teched 8-0, 8-0. Even though the second guy, the Mongolian, I rocked with the left cross. I took him down, but the point system, I wasn't awarded for points, and there's no points awarded even for knockdowns or for certain takedowns depending on the position. There are no points. So I lost both matches badly. And I remember going back to the Philippines with my head down, and I was like, oh my gosh, man, now the Sea Games is coming, and I'm doing all this media for the Sea Games, and I gotta put my money where my mouth is, and I gotta have a good performance here in the Philippines, of course. So for those last 2 months after my performance in Korea, we really trained like madmen, we all the guys, everyone on the Sambo team, we trained very, very hard, and I really isolated my training and focused on judo grips and throws and counters, which was the problem in Korea and what I wasn't familiar with. I don't think we did any, like, the last month. I don't remember doing any BJJ style grappling. It was all just judo style throws and judo style counters and striking, of course. So we really trained hard for that, and thank God I was able to get the win and rebound from get redemption after that performance in Korea. So thank God for that. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Imagine how you would be now having like longer training hours and being well versed into the sport of sambo. Now, what is your favorite submission? Asked by Dane
Mm.
Torres.
Favorite submission, whatever gets the job done. I'm a firm believer that you got to capitalize on any position, and take what your opponent gives you in the fight. If he offers something and that opportunity is there, you have to take it. But at the same time, I am a very big fan of catch wrestling, and I am a fan of a lot of catch wrestling submissions and that kind of style of fighting. The Filipino-Americana, that's my pet name for that move, which is called the
Yeah,
scarf
man.
hold arm lock. That's
You
you
should.
know that's probably my favorite move. But I have a whole series of moves that work together well from that position that I chain together. So definitely a big fan of catch wrestling and of that style of fighting.
Yep. And your friend's showing you a lot of love on the chat box.
Thanks, Di.
Now, another thing that I notice every time you have a fight, a competition, after the fight and you win, you go to this 1 or 2 week food binge. Now, tell us something about that, man.
Yeah, man. I think I have an addiction to food, man. Like a lot of people. And it probably, in hindsight, looking back, it probably stems from wrestling at the age of 7 and dieting when I was that young. Like I think it was in middle school. I was in 7th grade and I was already losing weight and dieting because it was just better for the team. Because I remember, okay, in 7th grade, me and another captain, we were at the same weight. And we were like, what are we going to do? We don't want to go against each other because that's 2 potential golds that we can get. So he decided to go up and I decided to go down. And that was in 7th grade. So from 7th grade, I was already dieting and losing, 5 to 10 pounds and really starting to learn about what to eat, what not to eat, how to recover, how to lose weight, short term, long term, everything. And because of that, I think I really developed a love for food. And because I always, I just punished my body when I was so young and so hungry all the time. And because of that, now when I do win a fight or after a fight, it's this big release and it's this chance to finally eat all the things that I haven't been able to eat over the last 1 or 2 months while I've just been eating, the boring foods in training camp. So I always go on what's up, Arvin? I always go on a crazy food binge right after every single fight. It usually consists of lots and lots of cheese, pizza, lasagna, pasta, ice cream, instant noodles. So bad for you, but I love it because I grew up in Japan. So I love ramen. And yeah, man, just big fan of food. And it's funny. Sometimes I get sick after my fights because I've eaten too much. Like that's the extreme. Like I've eaten myself into a food coma and I actually get physically sick. Like I get a sore throat and I actually come down with something after the fight just because I'm eating so much bad food and it's a complete 180 flip from being so healthy and disciplined before the fight. So definitely not something that I recommend and something that I'm trying to get a handle on more these days as I get older, because it's not good for my body for the long term.
But come on, man, that's the dream. Because Coach Castro keeps telling me you are one of the most disciplined students when it comes to his diet when training. Now, something that I could share, man, you could do like your YouTube content after the fights, your food binge. I see you doing burrito challenges. Were you able to finish that?
We actually didn't finish, man. That's one of the problems after the fight. Your stomach is like this big because it's so small. Your stomach has shrunk because you've been dieting for 2 months in training camp, maybe 3 months, and you've been eating so clean and regimented that your stomach has really shrunk. So even though you want to eat all these things right after, you actually can't handle it, and your stomach feels like it's gonna explode. So unfortunately, we weren't able to finish that burrito, but no, we did try. We finished a large portion of it for sure.
Man, yeah, I can't even finish that. Another thing, you're doing a lot of burgers, like you said, cheese and pizza. But we got Hobie who asked the question, a Filipino food that is your favorite.
Probably sisig or crispy pata.
Oh,
I love crispy
definitely.
pata, man. Just like crispy pata and a few ice cold beers, man, and I'm good to go, man. That's perfect.
Yeah, man. Like if ever you go to the Quezon City area, one of my friends' mom, she cooks the best crispy pata. I just had it
man.
like a day ago because I was craving it. It's so
Nice,
good. You should
nice.
try it when you come back, man. Now
Nice,
we have
nice,
a
for sure,
question from Maya. It's not MMA related, but how do you bond with your family? What are your bonding stuff that you do?
Yeah, that's one of the nice things about quarantine. Just get to spend more time with our family, and I don't know anything specifically, man, but the simple things are the things that are important. I have a 1-year-old boy right now, Maximilian, and just simple things like feeding him and giving him new foods, like cheese or lemon or something, and just seeing his eyes light up and different expressions and reactions from him. I find that really precious and a lot of fun, especially because I love food, so I'm like, okay, how are you gonna like this pizza that I love so much? What's your reaction? Things like that. I think it's the simple things that are important. And actually, my wife is pregnant again right now, so
Whoa,
baby number 2 is on the
congratulations.
way. Thank you, bro. Thank you.
Do we
so
have
baby
a
number 2 is on
gender
the way.
already?
No, it's too early to tell. So
Oh, okay.
hopefully a girl, because I don't know if we can handle two boys, man. But yeah, a girl would be nice. One girl and one boy. So let's see.
Yeah, man. Congratulations. I think this is
Thank you,
breaking
brother.
news.
That is
And
breaking news. Yeah. Thanks,
yeah,
bro.
it's gonna be a handful with two boys.
Oh,
Speaking
for
of
sure.
Maxi, man, would you like be open to him going into fighting? I know you'd be open to him going for grappling and wrestling. That's a good
Mm.
discipline for kids, but like fighting the way you are.
Um, I don't know. I mean, I'd love for him to compete in martial arts, of course, because I believe that in terms of personal growth, there are certain things that you can only get in martial arts. Like I grew up from a hardcore wrestling background, and from that background, I learned, how to work hard, discipline, so many important values that have stuck with me today. And I want that for my son, of course. But for him to enter MMA, I mean, to get punched in the face regularly, and it's a wild ride. I would support him for sure if that was his decision, but yeah, I'm more. I want to push him more towards wrestling, BJJ, Sambo, combat. No, not combat Sambo. Sorry, sports Sambo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, without the punches, I guess. But for
And
sure, ultimately, it's up to him. Everything, it's what you can guide them, and I think ultimately it's what they're passionate about and what they decide. So maybe he won't even like, a combat sport. Maybe he'll be a tennis player or something. Time will tell. We'll see.
that would be cool. There'd be a Mugen in the tennis court. Man. That's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, no, tennis is a great sport for sure.
Yep. A lot of people are congratulating you, like Hobie, Ira,
guys.
Jamel, Di, your friend, Maya. Man, lots of love. Every time you give a news about a baby, that's good news, especially on what's happening right now, man. So thank you for sharing that with us. All right.
For
So
sure.
another question is from Smith. You once fought Kai Kara France and won against him. Your thoughts now that he is in the UFC?
Yeah, we fought on MIMA, Malaysian Invasion of Mixed Martial Arts. It was a Malaysian MMA promotion. We fought a few years back, and yeah, nothing but good things to say about France. He's a beast, and he's on quite the tear right now in the UFC. I think he's ranked top 10 in the world. Yeah, awesome fighter.
Well, I guess Ruby Sports needs to start working then. 'Cause, we
Let's
gotta
go,
see some-
Ruby. Let's go.
Yeah, let's
Let's
go.
sign these contracts. Let's go.
Definitely. Now, do you have this is from Lester, and we don't condone this, but like, do you have any fun street fight story? Maybe you're not part of the street fight, something that you've witnessed or that happened with your friends.
Off the top of my head, um, like I can't. To be honest, I know I have some. I just can't think of any off the top of my head. I've been part of a few street fights. Not too many, man. Because honestly, I've been involved in martial arts and fight sport my whole life. And I've always tried to, if it's inevitable and you're in the street and there's no other way and you have to and you're defending someone, that's one thing, But most of the time things can be resolved without having to go in that direction. I guess like a true martial artist approach, I guess. But
Yeah, man.
yeah, I can't think of one off the top of my head, to be honest. I know I do have some from my days in Tokyo and clubbing in Japan, but I can't think of one off the top of my head.
Yeah, that's a true thing. Like if you're practicing martial arts or training it, especially when I went into Brazilian jiu-jitsu, it's the first time I felt manhandled in my life. It humbles me every time. That's why you get so tired that you don't want to fight outside.
Yeah, and
Understand?
one thing that a lot of people don't understand when they don't train in martial arts is just how dangerous street fighting is, and just the realities of violence. I mean, dude, like you get a wrestler. You go against a wrestler. The guy suplexes you on your head. You could be dead right there. You know, one throw, head to the concrete, one throw, suplex, done. And that's happened. You know, that's happened. I know some people that has happened to, where just an accident on the street, their head hit something sharp or a signpost or something. So it's very, you got to be very careful, man. And yeah, I'm not, I don't, you know, peace on earth, war in the cage, you know, save it for fight
Definitely.
sport.
So for Lester, man, train MMA and just leave it in the gym. I promise you, after like leaving the gym, you wouldn't want to fight, man. Oh, your friend Dai has some stories. You remember some, huh?
What's up?
Just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. That's crazy. Now, Mark, I think it's time we start giving away prizes. So
let's do it.
Let's give away first this one championship lanyard. So we're gonna be asking a question regarding this show, and the first one that Chala flashes will win this.
Cool.
Okay, let's start with something easy. What is the moniker of Mark Striegl? All right, let's wait for it. By the way, while we're waiting, there's a question regarding your last fight in the URCC. Any talks for a rematch, or are you open to fighting Shimizu?
I would be open to a rematch with Shimizu if he decided not to bitch out mid-fight, and he actually saw the fight through. Yeah, that was very disappointing, especially after making weight and putting in so much time into fight camp and preparation. The reality is that he quit on a nut shot, and I know that it was not that hard of a nut shot. Yes, it did hurt. Nut shots are real, but for him to not continue the fight, he totally took the easy way out. That was just a strategic veteran move on his part. He knew that the fight was not going his way and that he had his chance with that triangle, and that moment was over, and he took the easy way out. And yeah, I have friends that saw him drinking and partying after the fight. If his nuts were really that damaged, okay, real talk, if his nuts were really that damaged from that low kick, then you're talking about serious testicular damage, and you're going to have to go to the hospital after. You're not going to be partying and drinking 1 hour after the fight, you know? So 100%, I know he quit. He knows he quit. And it was just unfortunate that it ended that way. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, before I comment on that, let's just recognize the winner. Your homeboy, Neil, got the win.
Yo, what's up, Neil?
This is yours, brother.
Nice.
Yeah, with regards to what you said, do you feel like, because I've been noticing every time you win, your opponents keep trying to point something out. Like they want to win via technicality. Do you notice that, or is it just me?
I to be honest, I haven't really thought about it up until now. Yeah, it was weird, man. It was really weird. I did not expect that from a UFC veteran. But at the same time, man, like, you know, he probably realizes that he needs to put together another win streak, probably wants to get his shot back in the UFC. And he probably thought like, oh, this fight is not going in a good direction. I'm going to do this veteran move, get away out of the fight, live to fight another day, and fight elsewhere. And yeah, he did. And I think like only a month or two later, he fought in Australia, headlined a card in Australia and won. So it was yeah, man, it was bad. I couldn't believe that. Did not expect that from Shunichi Shimizu. Shame on you, Shimizu.
Yeah, man. I mean, he wants the next fight, but yeah, you got to show up, bro. And I'm not hating on him. He is a stud. But I've been noticing this kind of trend. I don't know if it's true, but like your last opponent when you won the title made some accusations, and now this person is trying to like get away with a nut shot. I'm like, yo, man, you could just fight it and see who's the better person, man.
I think that's just the nature of the sport, man. I think in a sport as crazy as MMA, you attract a lot of crazy people and different personalities. And yeah, man, Do Gyung Lee was one of them. Shimizu another. Although Shimizu, I can't really put him on the same level as Do Gyum Lee. Do Gyum Lee was just a fool. But Shimizu, yeah, he took the easy way out of that fight. Yeah.
I mean, Do Gyum Lee is currently a champion right now in a different organization,
yes.
but it just shows like how you dominated that fight. Again, I am not putting Do Gyum Lee down. I'm saying he's a champion because he's that bad. It just means you're that good.
Thank you, brother.
Now,
yeah, man. No, he's
moving
he won
forward.
the UAE title.
Hey, no worries. That's true, man. He did like before the end of the year.
Yeah, so no, he rebounded well, man.
All right, let's go.
Hats off to him.
Yeah, hats off to you, brother. And Shimizu, man, I guess the champs gave his terms. Balls on your court, but I guess you have to act fast. Now, here we go. We're gonna give away. This is where you had your debut. It's in the Araneta Coliseum. So this is a collage shot by Cholo Gonzalez.
Awesome.
Let's think of a good question here. What is Mark Mugen's signature submission? That's a good question. Like the name that he gave to that submission.
So my nickname for it. Yes.
Yeah, your nickname for.
There you go.
Not the actual. Come on, guys, you heard it, and it's a cool name. Like, come on.
Thank you, bro.
Hey, no worries.
Funny thing with that, you know how I came across that move actually? It was YouTube, man. It was back in college. It was back in college, and I was on my way to train at Victory MMA in San Diego. And I was on my way to BJJ training to roll with a bunch of black belts and a bunch of studs. And I saw that in a video on YouTube. And I was like, oh, let's try it out. And then, of course, after trying it out successfully and unsuccessfully, I picked the brain of all the black belts. And they told me, like, okay, this is how you should do it. This is what you got to watch out for. And from there, we were able to fine-tune it.
Yeah,
can't bash YouTube, man. Can't bash YouTube. It's funny.
Yeah, man. I watch YouTube for some moves from time to time. And yeah, the cool thing about that is that people will start learning on how to escape that submission, but they don't know, man. There's like, 5 more behind your arsenal aside from that.
That's the thing. You can learn a lot initially, but you have to put it to practice. And that's what I was able to do. I was able to test it out on black belts and see how they react, and then ask for their advice on the move and develop it from there. I wasn't, just subbing white belts with it and being like, okay, I got this new great move, So you really have to, but you can, get started off of YouTube and you can learn a lot.
Definitely. So like for everyone practicing BJJ and gets hammered every time, like myself, YouTube can help. Anyway, now let's recognize the winner, Lester Escosura. So Lester, man, this collage is yours.
Yes, sir. Good job, Lester. Congrats, man. The Filipino-American. I think the first fight I did that with, that was in Dare in Bangkok against Marco Mad Dog Husanari, Finnish fighter. I think that was the first time I did it in an MMA fight, and then I started using it a lot more in PXC. Man,
that became a signature move for you. Like they could make a TikTok video out of it, just doing that move. Now,
I tried it on Do Gyum Lee.
Yeah, you did, and almost everyone. So that's the cool thing about it. You still got him in the standing guillotine, even if he escaped it.
Yes, sir.
Now, Mark, before I let you go, man, is there anything you need to get off your chest? Anywhere that these people could find you? Any projects you are going to have in the future?
Yeah, no, right now I just want to say, please stay safe, everybody. These are trying times, difficult times for everybody, for some more so than others. And just please stay safe. And hopefully this blows over relatively soon. It looks like things, I want to say the curve's kind of flattening here, although I've heard mixed things. So hopefully things can get back to somewhat normal with the modified quarantine and whatnot. And just please stay safe, guys. Let's follow the rules and do what the professionals and the experts think is best. And you can stay. That's one thing I wanted to say.
Mhm.
I think a lot of people are not talking about the importance of health in this time. I mean, some people are, but there's just a lot of fear going around, and everyone's there's just a lot of fear going around. And I think right now, the most important thing that we can do is keep our immune systems high and stay healthy. And one of the best ways we can do that is through clean diet and good exercise, keeping yourself healthy so you don't get infected and you don't infect your loved ones around you. So take fitness seriously, guys. Stay healthy. You can check my social media channels, my YouTube, Mark Mugen, my Instagram, Mark Mugen. I work out almost every single day, and you can just get ideas and message me. I try to respond to everybody. If you have any questions on fitness or anything, just message me, and I'll respond when I can.
Yeah, definitely. Speaking of like maintaining a healthy body, go visit YouTube, Mark Mugen. Try the exercise. You don't have to finish it. Just try it. And if you do, man, it's gonna feel amazing.
Exactly. Yeah, don't get frustrated, man. Just even if you can't complete the whole workout, if it's a 10-minute workout and you can't complete the whole workout, go until 6 minutes. And then the next time you try it, try to go until 7 minutes. Just progression, guys. Fitness is it's a journey, not a destination. So just do your best.
Yeah, definitely. And of course, just before I let everyone go and end the stream, we are still giving away this one championship keychain exclusively on Instagram. All you have to do is follow Fight Sport Manila and Mark Mugen, screenshot any part of the live stream, tag us in your story, and we will pick a random winner. And Mark, if you are a fan of pro wrestling, I just want you to know that on next week's episode, one of our guests would be the PWR wrestlers, and they're going to be talking about Homecoming. It's a wrestling event, one of the biggest wrestling events in the Philippines during the last year, and they brought some wrestlers from the WWE and AEW to compete against our very own.
Very cool. Yeah, no, definitely. We'll tune in for that, man. Pro wrestling used to watch a lot when I was younger, and big fan of what they do. Actually, Coach Castro was involved in pro wrestling too, and was on the Japanese circuit for some time. So very cool, man.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, man.
Pro wrestling, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Coach Castro was also a pro wrestler. That shows how badass he is. Now, again, thank you so much, Mark, for joining us. For
My pleasure,
everyone
man.
who joined us on the stream, maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. Join us next week's episode. We are gonna announce some guests in the future, but come on. Isn't this amazing? We had Mugen with us. So thank you so much. Fight Sport Manila, verbal sparring.
Thank you.